Hey, it's Matt, and today we're going to talk about things you need to do before entering the tech industry. I've been in the tech industry a while, for a hot minute now, and for over 20 years I've been developing software professionally. Right now I'm a business owner, software architect, and here's some things that I've learned, and also some things that I think I could have done better on my career and before entering my career. The first thing you need to do is to hone your technical skills. That's easier said than done. Sometimes it's easy to get stuck in a rut and to think you're not good enough, to think you don't know enough. And it's really easy to beat yourself up. But it's really easy too to take a look at everyone else and try to use them as a gauge and a help on how you can get to where you want to go. To hone your technical skills, it's really important to always be learning. There's a big change that's happened recently in the tech industry, and it used to be that you were a front-end developer or a back-end developer, and people were one or the other, and there was no such thing as a full-stack developer. That means you're good at neither. But now a front-end developer is really different. There are two different kinds of front-end developers, one that knows HTML and CSS, and the other one that knows like a JavaScript framework, for instance, React or Angular or Vue.js. And then the back-end, a back-end developer is someone who's writing a lot of back-end code that interacts with the database. They're writing web API services and basically developing an API that a front-end developer can hook into. So how do you learn those skills? Well, school is a great way to do that. If you've already graduated school, if you've gone to a boot camp or you have a 4-year degree, whatever your path is there, you can still continue to learn. It's really important to always be learning. How do you do that? Well, you can contribute to open source projects. There are about 1 million videos online, and you can learn any type of language. You can learn any type of technology, and it's really easy to get overwhelmed. So focus on a track. Say, okay, I'm going to learn this. I want to learn React, or I want to learn Vue.js. It's the newest, shiniest technology. That's what I'm going to learn. And then take a small project and go develop that project. It could be something like a comic book collection software, or it could be just an app that helps you log the water you drink in a day. Silly, stupid things that everyone's already solved that problem before. It's not about solving the problem. It's about taking the problem that we've already solved and solving it using a different technology. That's one way. There are all sorts of user groups. Find the language that you want, and then go to the user group for that language. That's a great way. Go in person if you can. Go meet other people. It's all about the people, because people will help you learn. Everyone, as a junior dev, everyone knows a lot more than you do. That's the way I looked at it, and there's two reactions to that. One, I'll never be good enough. I'll never be smart enough. I'll never learn all this stuff. There's too much to learn, and I'm not going to be able to do it. The way I looked at it is, all these people have gone before me. Let me pick their brain. Let me see what they've done. Let me learn from their mistakes. Let me learn from their experience. That's the attitude that I think really will help you set yourself apart from other people. Okay, the second thing is to hone your soft skills. We've mentioned soft skills before. What is a soft skill? In software development, we have our technical piece. We go write code, and then we develop the software. But all the things around that are the soft skills. Scrum is really popular right now. Learn Scrum. That's all the soft skills in software development. We have all these meetings, stand-ups. We want transparency between the development team and the business unit. And we want to be able to communicate effectively between those two groups. Sometimes those groups are at odds with each other. Other times it is really easy to see how you can work better together. And then along with that, as you go to those user groups, hone your soft skills there. Introduce yourself to someone. Just insert yourself into a conversation that's already happening. Really uncomfortable for most of us, I understand, myself included. But the more you do that, the less uncomfortable it becomes. And it will probably always be uncomfortable, and it's okay to admit that. But it might be tolerable at some point. That's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for the growth that lets us do things that were impossible in the past. Today, they're tolerable, and tomorrow, maybe we won't even think twice about it. So continue to develop those soft skills Those are management skills, those are people skills, everything other than writing code that's involved in software development. A lot of people like to use a rubber duck for explaining problems. So for example, if I was a junior dev, I would have a rubber duck on my desk. Very common, because as soon as you have a problem, you explain it to the rubber duck. The rubber duck has no knowledge of what you're talking about, so you have to explain it in a way that starts at the very beginning. And sometimes the beginning is where your problem starts, and you don't realize it because you're in the weeds at a specific part. So explain your problem to a rubber duck. Then, if you still don't have the answer, you'll be surprised. A lot of times you'll get the answer as you explain it to a rubber duck. Then you can go take that question or that problem to someone else, either another junior dev. Sometimes all you need is a second set of eyes, or a team lead or something like that. Post it to a group chat, things of that nature. Those are the soft skills they don't teach in school. All right, third, you got to know you're starting from the bottom. Like I said, everyone's smarter than you. They really aren't. Sometimes that's the way it feels, right? So junior dev, going back over 2 decades, I will never amount to anything. It can be overwhelming, right? Because everyone knows all these things. And I remember in technical interviews when I was first starting out, I would just feel deflated afterwards because I didn't know all these little questions that someone asked, and how could I know? I didn't have any experience, or I had very limited experience. So of course, a senior dev can ask questions that would stumble up a junior dev. It's not a big deal. That's not the place you want to work anyway. So knowing you're at the bottom, looking at this mountain you're going to climb, all these people have gone before us. What can we learn from them? How can we say, let's climb that mountain with them? Let me find someone that can be a Sherpa for me, or that can lead the way, can be a trail guide. They're climbing the mountain, they come back down, and they climb it again with me. So they can help me, even though we're in different parts of our career. It's a constant learning process. No one knows everything. It's impossible. There's so much to know, especially in our industry, and it's constantly changing. So your ability to learn is more important than what you actually know. Okay, fourth, figure out your career goals. If your career goal is to be the best front-end developer ever, then that's what you need to focus on. If you want to be a DevOps engineer, or you want to be a software architect, or you want to be CTO, those are all very different paths. So determine your path and then do what you need to do to get there. Now, obviously, your path may change. Your path may have roadblocks in it, and then you may decide to shift or pivot, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you have a plan now, I want to go here, then you can go get there. If you don't have a plan, well, you're already there. You won't go any further. You may stumble across something that's further, but if you have a plan, you're more likely to achieve that than if you don't have a plan. I've heard it said that the time you need a map is before you enter the woods. So when we're busy in our career and life, if we don't have the map, we don't have a plan, we're just aimlessly going, doing the same thing. Every day we wake up, we go to work, we come home, we eat dinner, we go to bed. Repeat, do that 5 times a week, and on the weekend, maybe do something fun that we like, or go shopping because we couldn't get our groceries during the week. Things like that. But if we have a plan, okay, if I'm going to wake up half an hour early, and I'm going to study XYZ for that half an hour, and then I'll be able to do my work, and I've already paid myself first. I've paid myself first by studying the things that I want to learn, the things that will take me to the next level. The last thing, and probably the most important thing, is networking. So how do we network? Well, there's places like LinkedIn. I've got tons of connections, and most of the people I haven't met in person. But the best connections are the connections of people I know. I've worked with on projects, and I've worked with in the past and current projects. Those are the best connections. People do business with people. People hire other people. People don't hire a resume. People don't hire a software engineer. They hire who's in front of them. They interview with that person. They think, this guy's smart or this gal's smart, and they know how to get stuff done. Those are the 2 criteria that I look for. And everything else is just determining those 2 factors. So if you're good in an interview, if you're good at networking, you'll get a lot more opportunities than if you're bad at that. One way to get better at that is do some public speaking. Do something like Toastmasters. Try to find opportunities where you can get your message across, and then analyze that and take a look at that. Record yourself on your phone and then play it back and think, oh my goodness, I have a lot to work on. But you'll continually improve. And that's the key to everything, is continual improvement. Minor, minute, incremental improvements every day. And then you look back and think, look where I am. Look at how far I've come. Places to network, you can go to all the user groups, like I mentioned. You can go to public speaking engagements. You can go to various business networking events. Sometimes those are good for, technical people, because there are non-technical people there and they speak differently than we do. And it's good to see how they communicate versus how we communicate with other geeky people. The things that are funny to us are just not funny to other people. Watch the video Developers Are Weird, because we are weird. We look at the world differently. We look at the world in a different lens than the rest of the world does. People say, oh, wouldn't it be cool if this app could do X, Y, Z? And we're like, yeah, whoa, don't do that. That's going to be so much work, very little gain from it. No one's going to use it, right? Or we're going to be like, oh, it's a slam dunk. That's easy. Let's do it. But people outside of our industry don't have that expertise. They don't look at things that way. So when you're at networking events, look at how they communicate with each other. Look at the nonverbal cues that they give. Look at the way they stand. Where are their feet pointing? That's the most important person to them. Look at, do they fold their arms? Do they put their hands on their hips? Do they use their hands when they talk? Try to emulate the good parts of other people's communication style. And that, I think, will make a big difference. And then as you make those true connections with people, you can reach out to them later and just say, hey, how are you doing? I'm just thinking about you. Wondering if you're working on any cool projects. You're not looking for work. You're connecting with them on a human level. And you're treating them as humans. I know sometimes I haven't always done that in the past. I've just looked at people as a way to get what I want. But now, as I've grown as a human and I've progressed, I've worked on myself, I look at everyone as an individual. Everyone's different, but everyone's kind of the same at the same time. So as we do that, connecting with people is much more natural. So go out and connect, go network, go do things that are uncomfortable for you, and you will find you will get great results from that. I hope you have found this video interesting. Which of these 5 are most important to you? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe and click the notification button and you can get notified for new videos.